All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've started the recording and we will begin. As you already know my mantra, we must show up early, and I stand by that. For me, there's no apologies for that. Yes, I know it's over the weekend, so some persons might not be able to make it. That being said, those who can make it just cannot make it, and I will make the recording available. Yeah. So that being said, folks, I am deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned because as I go through the the test, I'm trying to understand what has happened. And this is just perusing the test. So I have not sat down to mark the test thoroughly. But just going through the test, I am, and I just have to put it bluntly, I am appalled by what I am seeing. And I am not sure what is happening, so maybe you can shed some light on the situation. Because based on what I gave, I would have anticipated that it was something that was easy to manage if you had gone through the worksheet, if you had done the practice, if you had watched the recordings, and if you practice as you watch the recordings. But obviously something in my mind is going haywire. Now, my vision for this program is that you develop competencies in terms of programming so that you can take advantage of opportunities that present themselves in the space. I have gone as far as to indicate that there are potential opportunities from Microsoft. There are potential opportunities from Intellibus. We have another player. Well, we have two other players. I've spoken about in the chat. I've spoken about the IoT devices. Those were given to us by a company called Innovate Telex, who has actively recruited UTech graduates. We have another place called Grid Dynamics, who is on our advisory board, and they have also been hiring UTech graduates. So my expectation is that you become grounded in the fundamentals of programming so that you can take advantage of these opportunities. I am not sure if that's your vision for yourself, because if it's not, it just isn't. Yeah. But if it is, then there is a part that you play in all of this. And if it is that the shortcoming is on my end in terms of how I explain the concepts, then all right, I'll take that and I'll move forward and I'll make the adjustment. But if it is that the shortcoming is on your end because you're not doing the work, then there's something that you must do on your end. And I'm just giving maybe about 10 minutes for you to give your views on the whole matter. And then we just dive deep into looking at some of these concepts again, just to ensure that it is cemented. So I will stop the one bagger long talking and turn over to you so that you can share things from your perspective. Yeah, folks, we don't want to waste time. So, I mean, just open the mic and speak.
Wait, so you're asking us like we're asking again?
I'm trying to find out what is going wrong. What is the challenge?
Sir, it's not necessarily hard. It's just I guess people need more practice, I guess. Or no, I need more practice.
Okay, noted. Next.
So for me as well, I think that I need more practice because I started the class late, as in last week. So yeah.
All right, noted. All right, so let me answer. Let me respond to those two comments. So is it that you want more worksheets, more problems to solve?
Yeah, sure, that's
Yeah, I
fine.
wouldn't mind that. That's
Sorry.
what I'd be nice.
Well, I think for my issue that I had, sir, is just I never had a computer to practice on, so I was doing most of the work like on paper, practice on paper. So I think now that I'm able to do the practice on the computer, then it should be fine.
Okay, noted. All right, so if it's more questions you know what, at this time they can get more questions. I, I, I would just say to you though, be careful of what you wish for. And why I'm saying be careful of what you wish for, the more worksheets I give you, I'm going to expect that you're going to do them and that you're going to hand them in. It therefore means that you're going to have to spend more time doing them. The strategy I was employing was to give you your worksheet, but the questions that I give you, in my mind, are indicative of the kind of things that I would want you to be able to think about and process. So that if you understand that, then it doesn't matter what other problem you get within that domain, you should be able to handle it. So I am not averse to giving more worksheets. I'm just letting you know that when I give more worksheets, I'm going to expect that you're going to do them and you're going to hand them in. All right. So just be aware of that. Yes, Mr. Francis. All right. Thank you, Mr. Scott. I didn't put enough time in it, so it's on me. All right. I, for one, like when people frown. Yeah, because if it is that there is an issue and it's on your side, and you don't admit it, then as far as I'm concerned, it don't matter what kind of solution we look at. We're still going to be back at the same place because you're not willing to face, what is. And if you're not willing to face what is, then, well, put it this way. If you don't think that you are the problem, then you'll never fix you so that you can move forward. So I, for one, appreciate the candor. I see Mr. Dominic's hand, but before I go to you, Dominic, I'm just going through the messages that I'm seeing. All right, so one person overlooked some of the questions. All right, overthinking. All right, so maybe the worksheet then will help that then. All right. If it's that you're overthinking, maybe doing more worksheets, more problems within the domain will assist that.
Yes, sir, because for that receipt one, I didn't.
1 minute, 1 minute, Jane.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
queuing up everybody. Yeah. All right. By the way, please just send the message so that everybody can see it because I'm going to read it out anyway. All right. So Miss Thomas has said she took way too much time on one question. All right. So part of doing any kind of test or exam, well, anything in general is your ability to manage your time. So you were given 1 hour to do the three. The 1 hour was adequate to do the three once you're properly grounded. Now, if you think once you get a paper, you should be looking at the paper first, analyzing the paper, and planning out your strategy. How much time I think I should be spending on this one? All right, 15 minutes. I want to spend the 15 minutes, then you move on to the next one. You leave some space, move on to the next one. You really want to complete as much as possible. And if you have a question that you think might be difficult, you might very well find that when you start to work on that problem, it 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 turned out to be not as difficult as you thought. So that is something that I would suggest. All right. Problem was understanding the question. That is Miss Davis. All right. So hopefully the worksheet we sort that out. Go ahead, Dominic. And then after Dominic, I listen to Jane.
Oh yeah. Afternoon, everyone. My thing was, sir, I'd like to believe that I understand the concepts of everything that we're doing so far because it does seem fairly simple. I think my only issue would have been actually writing it versus using an IDE to do it. But that would still be on me because you did say that the test would have been on paper. So I think that was where my issue was for one of the questions because that's why I had to reach for another paper also. The first method that I was trying for one question, I realized that it would have been probably a bit too much work to write out, and it would have been something that I'm not totally familiar with. So it would have been a trial and error thing, which doesn't really work on pen on paper.
All right, noted. Thanks. Uh, Jane, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Like, as you said, like most of the concepts are understanding. Everybody knows like the formula, whatever, how to do them. But, sir, that receipt question that was on the paper, I didn't know how to format that, so I don't even know if it was appropriate. And then the last question now, that one was the most confusing because, sir, yes, sir, I watched the video, but I was also just like with trying to like write everything over, but I didn't have much time. So there was also, like time being the problem where I would miss out something or whatnot. And yeah, by the time I left the classroom, I realized I missed out some important functions or whatever that would make the answer actually work if you were to type it in somewhere. But yes, sir, we definitely need more worksheets, personally.
All right, noted. All right, Javon says was a bit late. Well, you were not a bit late, Javon. You were extremely late. And that is a pet peeve for me. I do not believe that students should be turning up to classes late. I honestly don't believe it. As I've said on numerous occasions, if the roles were reversed, and I was the one who was reaching late, half an hour late, uh, 45 minutes late, reaching with 10 minutes to go. in the test and all those things, then I mean, my name would have been plastered all over the university by now because you would be talking among yourselves, and my name would probably reach the president of the university by now. So I try to ensure that I reach early. I do what it takes. I tell you folks, I drive and I leave out most mornings 5:30 based on where I live. I leave out about 5:30 and I drive. So by about 6:30 or a little after that, I am on campus. No, I am saying if you don't drive and you will live the same distance that I am traversing from, then it cannot be that you're leaving out um, at 6:30, 7 o'clock. To me, that is not prudent. All right, so I mean, it is what it is. I have ranted and I've raved. I have shouted. I mean, at some point, that have to go stop, and it has stopped now. I mean, you are young adults. That's how we're treating you. So you have to know what you want to accomplish. I have given you the the cases that I know and how things turn out for them when they apply themselves. I'm saying that similar things can happen to you if you apply yourself. No, that's enough about this. I mean, I think we have exhausted this. So let's kind of move forward. And one thing about me, I try and change strategy if I think what I'm doing to this point not working. And I think I tried something that I thought would have worked, and it not working. Just be frank. So I am going to change the strategy moving forward. And this is the new strategy that will take place. I won't be recording any more tutorial based videos. That's a waste of time. When not watching it, most of you, and I can say that based on the evidence, most of you not watching it. And the fact is that this information exists out there already. I just thought that perhaps if you hear it from me as the lecturer, then you'll be more inclined to watch it. That does not seem to be happening. So I'm no longer going to be doing that. And to be quite frank, that takes up a whole heap of time because I'm trying to pace it so that you can hopefully understand what I am doing and follow along. But based on the return on the investment, I don't think I'm getting enough for the amount of time that I am putting in to make those recordings. So that is going to stop. What I will do instead is I will make some YouTube videos available to you from other persons, and I think it covers the content pretty well. So I'll make the playlist or the video available, and I'll just simply let you know which topics in the video you should be watching and doing the practice to gain the content, and you do that. I will also be doing um, more, let's call it practical work, solving problems. And in terms of doing that, I will still allow you not to be in physically on the lecture tutorials. So you won't be in physically, but you're going to need to log on and be in a session where we're working problems. So that that is what will change. So as of this week, if you have your lecture class on Monday 8 to 10, then I expect that you are going to be online so that we can work some problem. because I'm just focusing on working problems. That's what I'm focusing on. When you come on the practical days, you come in there so that you can work on the worksheets. I say I want enough worksheets. So you will be coming in so that you can work on the worksheets. I walk around, I will look at what is happening, etc. So that is what is going to be we're going to do moving forward. I also want to remind everyone that we had a plan starting up, and the plan was that we're trying to onboard most of you into the national lab. And based on that, we had projected that we would have finished early. Based on what I'm seeing, that is not possible. So it simply means that those who are going to be in the lab, you're going to have to do some additional work, even more than we had anticipated before, because it means that you won't be able to make it to some of those online sessions after the next 2 weeks have passed. But the recordings will be there, so you will be required to go through those recordings as a matter of priority. So I just putting that out there because I want as many persons as possible to be in the lab to take up that particular opportunity. All right, so that's how we're going to move forward. And I'm talking now specifically about this module, which is Intro to Programming. I will talk about shell scripting at a later date. Maybe by tomorrow, I'll talk about shell scripting. But for now, let's move on. So originally, I will not jumping into the whole meat of the matter. Originally, I had said that you're going to do C++ on your own, and I'm focusing on Python. I thought that would have been the better approach because if you understand one language, you can easily transfer that knowledge over into other languages. Having looked at what I looked at, I don't think that's prudent anymore. So I'll be doing both. I'll be doing both Python and I'll be doing C++. So we are going to be moving forward in terms of moving out of that online platform that you have been used to, because we simply use that to make things easier in terms of learning the concept. But if you're going to write real world applications, you won't be writing it in those kind of editors. You'll be using what is known as an IDE, an integrated development environment. And I'm going to suggest two. These are the ones I am going to work with. One of them being Visual Studio Code, and I will be using this for Python. And the other one is called Code Blocks, and I will be using this for C++. So there's some installation that you're going to have to do. And I will just let you know what the tools are, provide you with the links to the downloads, which I'm going to do now in the chat. And when we are through, I'll also place them on your platform in the folder that we have been using, on Moodle that is, in the folder that we have been using. So just give me a minute. Let me get the links and drop them in the chat.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, could I possibly download the apps or whatever we're using on like a thumb drive?
No, you
My
can't
computer.
download it on a thumb drive because you need to install it on your machine. So I mean, you download it on a thumb drive and then you install it on your machine from the thumb drive. That's what they're saying.
Something like that, sir. It's because
Well, yeah, if you're saying that, that can be done. So that's up to you.
I don't have any space on my computer, sir. That's right.
Well, if you don't have any space, it's not gonna install. So
Ah,
you need to
but yes,
delete some of you need to delete some of those Japanese anime videos to free up some space. Yeah.
I don't have any anime for my computer, sir. But yes, sir. It's fine. I'll download it off my mother's own, and then
All right. So if you look in the chat, you should be seeing the two links. So just copy them and put them somewhere so that it can save you some time. All right. So moving forward. All right. So this is worksheet one. And in worksheet one, it was pretty much guided in terms of it told you what to do. So it required no sort of thinking. So you were told what to do. So print a greeting, that's the command. Print your name, that's the command. Obviously, you're going to put in your name here. Print a math results, obviously, that is that. So I'm just going to run straight ahead, and we're going to do this in both languages. And then we kind of compare and contrast what is happening. So first of all, I'm going to be opening Visual Studio Code. I'm using dual monitor, so I'm just closing some stuff so as not to distract you. Okay. All right, and this is the Visual Studio Code environment. This is where we will be writing our Python. So the quickest way to make use of Visual Studio Code is, first of all, to have a place where you're going to be storing your code. So for me, I will be storing them inside this folder called project. And inside this folder called project, I have already created something called CMP 1001. And inside of that, I will be storing stuff. So I'm here. Let me create a folder that I'll be using for this particular session. So it's already here. I've called it IO. So I want to go into IO. I want to get the entire path. So I'm going to the top part of the window. I'm going to copy that. And I copy it so that we can make use of it if we need. Now, going back to Visual Studio Code, what I can do is to just get the folder and drag it into VS Code, and it's going to open up. So right at the top, you are seeing that we are inside this folder called IO. IO for input output, which is what we have been doing predominantly since we started to look at the module. We have done mostly IO with some control structures like if statements, and we have manipulated operators and so on. Now, once I'm here, I can create a file using this option here that says new file. But because I'm kind of organizing the things into directories, then I'm going to create a new folder. So inside IO, I have the new folder. I'm just going to call it probably session one. Now, under session one, I can create the file that I'm going to be using. And because we're in Python, then the file needs to have a .py extension. So let's call this work one .py. So we have the file open here, and now we can start typing our Python. And the first Python code is going to be the print statement. I mean, that's pretty much what we are doing here. We want to print a greeting, so print hello Python. So print hello Python, and we're going to execute. And to execute, I'm going to open a terminal. And when I say terminal, it's going to be command line. It's going to be something similar to what you would use in shell scripting. So view terminal. Notice there's a shortcut here. It's the control key. You hold it down and you hold the backtick character, which is that little character there that you see at the top. So I open the terminal, and what I need to do is to run the Python compiler, and I'm going to run it on this particular file. Now, this file work1.py is found inside session one. So I'm going to need to navigate into session one. So it's CD session one. Now, this is something that you would have seen before because we would have done something similar in shell scripting. Just note that the commands are still useful even when they're inside Windows. So I'm now inside session one, and then I'm going to run the Python compiler. So it's either Python or Python 3. It depends on how it is installed on your machine. And then it's the name of the file, which in this case is going to be work01.py. So work01.py, and hit enter. I probably didn't save it, so I'm going to save. Control S saves the file. And you're seeing that it says hello Python there. So it is still the same execution that we're going to get. It's just a little bit different from what we have been used to in terms of edu blocks, because edu blocks just have this nice thing where you have the code on one side and the output window on the other side. So it's just about getting used to, how things are outlaid in the different environment. But you can see that the output is pretty much the same. All right. Also, print your name. My name is. So for me, it would be my name is, and that's my name, right? Control S to save. If you don't want to use the shortcut, then you go File, and you just click on the Save option. Going back to our terminal, I don't need to execute this. By the way, the shortcut key is if you press the up arrow, then you can toggle through all the commands that you had before. And the down arrow carries it in the opposite direction. So I'm just using the up arrow key. It's Python, followed by the name of the file. So once again, we have executed. My name is Horace Scarlett. So the program is working fine, meaning the IDE, the environment that we're currently in. So the questions so far, folks. I see somebody said they're not seeing the codes that I'm writing. Is that the same that is good for everybody? Are you seeing what I'm writing, folks?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
All right, so Shanique, you need to log out and log back in. Maybe that there's something wrong on your end. Well, this is the way I'm doing it, Ricardo. There's usually more than one way to skin a cat. This is the way I'm choosing to skin this particular cat. So, I mean, use whatever you want to use, all right? So, however you get it to work, you just get it to work. This is the way I'm working with. Yeah. All right. So, and unpointedly, you have never seen Visual Studio used this way. This is the way most developers are going to use Visual Studio, though, because Visual Studio is an IDE that allows you to write in many different languages, and you may have to speed up a server. And if you're speeding up the server, then you're going to want to speed up the server in your terminal. So the terminal becomes an important concept when you develop it. So just bear that in mind. Give me a second, folks. All right, let's try and continue. Sinuses are killing me, so having some difficulty taking breaths. So, but anyway, let's move on. So this is pretty much Python. So we're going to do something similar though, using the other tool that we need to look at. And as I mentioned earlier, for that, we are going to be making use of code blocks. All right, so maybe I should have called it session 1P. All right. So I'm going to open code blocks. And remember, this is now for the C++. It's kind of reading, so just take a little while to sort out itself. It shouldn't take that long. Well, I guess it took that long. All right, so code blocks. And by the way, there are many different IDEs that you can use. That's the option that we're going to choose, create a new project. Our project window is on this side. That's where we will see the files that we are going to be working with. By the way, it's kind of similar setup in terms of Visual Studio Code. When I go back over there, I kind of show you. So now, create a new project. The kind of applications that we're working with are console applications. I'm going to choose that option. And we get a little wizard where we can fill out some particular pieces of information that customize it to the kind of application we want to create. So next, ensure it is on C++. Next, we're going to give it a title, and we need the location where the folder is. So I want to need CMP that, but I need to create another folder. So I want to be in IO, and inside IO, I want to create another folder. So this is going to be session 01. I'm going to call it C. To differentiate between the C code and the C++ code. So I don't want the entire path where this is, because based on what code block is asking, it was the folder that we're going to put the file in. So this is the path at which I want to create the folder. And the folder, I'm going to call it, I think I call it work1 the other time. So let's use a similar thing. So work1. Next, and these defaults, you leave them as is. And we have now created our project. Inside of this sources folder, you see something called main. By the way, it could be called anything. And note that the extension is CPP, so C++. So we're going to open this file. And we get like a kind of skeleton that has some code. We're going to execute the code just so that it can display, so we can see our output window. So in order to do that, we're going to click on this button that says build and run. Because we have to compile the code first before we can execute the code. So build and run. And we see the output here. It says hello world. So that was the greeting. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to let it print my name. So my name is save Control S. I mean the standard that way in terms of saving. And we're going to build and run again. So here we go. My name is Harriet Scarlett. So we're seeing that we're getting some output. All right. So here was now, folks. We need to talk about some of the stuff now over here in C++. So let me start with here. At the top, where you see the include statements, these are going to be some packages that we can make use of. And in this particular package, it's called IO stream in an input output stream. So we can use it for input and we can use it for output in terms of getting the kind of operations that we need to do both. The operation in C++ that allows us to do output is going to be cout. It really means console output, or we put in output to the console. So instead of using a print as we did in Python, we now have to use cout. When we're using the cout, we need to tell it what we want to display. And we do that by making use of the symbol. It's two less than sign. So each time we're going to print something different, we need to put the two less than sign. So in this case, in one instant, I am printing a string value that has my name. So my name is Horace Scarlett. And in the other instant, I am printing something called endel, which gives me a new line. So I'm printing my name, and then I'm printing a new line. And that is what we would have seen being displayed. Now, there's another thing that we need to talk about. This thing here called STD. So even though inside of this thing called IO stream, we say we can do input, output, there are different packages inside of that library that we can target. And the library that we're targeting now is this library here called STD. And inside of STD, that is where we get things like CO. So if we're not using STD, we don't get CO. Now, as we go through and we do more problems and so on, then this will become even clearer in terms of the packages that we're making use of and the operations which are found in these various packages. All right, so any questions? All right, so it seems as if there's no questions, which means that all of this is understood. All right, so let's move forward. All right, so we know how to do basic output using both Python and now using C++. So the next thing is, how do we get user information in both of them? Because as we would have mentioned before, there must be some way for users to be able to interact with our applications. And they do this by virtue of entering input into the machine. So going back to Python, we know that if we want to get input in Python, we're going to make use of the input command. And we also know that we can use variables because variables allow us to store data. So in Python, in terms of creating variables, it's as simple as we give a variable name, we use the assignment operator, and we put something inside of the variable. For example, 10. And if we want to print that 10, then we simply use our formatted string. And we wrap our variable name inside the curly brackets. We save. We're going to execute. And we are seeing the output being displayed. And the value here is 10, which is what we currently place inside the variable now. So notice we store the value in the num and then we print it. Well, that's Python, right? Now, C++. How do we create variables in C++? We create variables by first of all identifying the data type. So in Python, the data type is implicit, meaning based on the value that you store, the computer knows or infers what kind of data type to use. In C++, where we have to specify first what kind of variable we are creating. So for example, we type int num, and that tells us that we are creating a variable called num, and we can assign num the value 10. Then in terms of displaying num, all we have to do is to specify the variable name. Remember, we had indicated that the double less than sign is telling cout that we are about to print something. And in this instance, the thing that we are going to print is the value that is found inside the variable num. So let's try that to make sure that it works. Remember, we save first, Control S, and then we build and we run. And based on the output in our window, we are good to go. Now, I have not forgotten what it is that we want to look at. We want to look at getting the inputs from the user. But I'm just doing this first so that when we finally get the input from the user, you can see how everything kind of ties in together. The final thing here is I don't just want to display 10. I want to display an appropriate message so that we give context to the kind of value that we're seeing on the screen. So over here in Python, we use the formatted string. And we say the value entered is, and then we print the content of the variable. Now, all of this is things I already know, or well, should know. So I'm now going to execute. So it's Python work01.py. And based on what we see here in the output window, the value entered is 10. So we are able to print string values to give context to the variables that we want to display the content of. Now, doing a similar thing in Python, we want to say the number value entered is. So it therefore means the first thing that we want to display is our string value. The value entered is. And then because we want to display num, then we'll put the 2 less than sign and then the variable name. We save, we build and we run. And we're seeing now, based on our output screen, that the value entered is 10. So I think now we're ready to start accepting the data values in both languages. So back to Python. We don't want to be hard coding the value like we did here. This value is determined by the programmer. We want the user to determine what num is going to be. So we can initialize num. And I'm doing it this way so that when I go over to C++, you can kind of see similarity. So first of all, I'm creating the variable and I initialize it. So I put the value 0 in there. But next, I want now the user to be entering their own value. So it's going to be num is equal to input I will give them the prompt, enter a number. And the point that we're making here over in Python is that whatever number is entered by the user, well, whatever value that is entered by the user, once we make use of the input command, then this value that is entered is going to end up being a string. Yeah, and this word is string. Because we're dealing with a number, we don't want it to be a string. We actually want to convert it into something numeric, which in our case, we want it to be an int. So therefore, we are going to do some conversion. And we'll do the conversion by wrapping the input command with the int command, because the int command is going to do the conversion for us. So let us save and let us execute. So note, it's now asking for a number to be entered if you're looking on the output window. So we are going to now enter a number. And notice that the screen, the cursor is blinking. Once we see that blinking cursor, then we pretty much know that the computer is waiting on some sort of input. So let's put 32, and we enter. And it's now saying that the value entered is 32. That is our output. So what we have done here is twofold. We have got that input from the user. We have placed it inside this variable called num. And then we are displaying our output, so much so that we are displaying the value in num, but we are also displaying some kind of message that gives it context. And we are going to do a similar thing over there in C++ next. So just in terms of comparison, the first thing that we did was we created a variable and we initialized it to 0. So I'm going to initialize num to 0. The next thing that we did was we had a print statement that told the user what to do. So we are going to use a cout command to do that. So we had said enter a number, colon and a space. The next thing that we did was we obtained a value from the user. And in this case, we are going to use a command called cin. Cin is also found inside of this package called std. So if there's no std, there's no cout, and there's no cin. Cout means console output. Cin means console input. So we want to make input into the console. And note, we now change the direction of the operators or the symbols. So we're now using the two greater than sign. So whenever we're doing a cin, that is what we are going to be using. And then we put the variable name. Also note that in C++, we always using these little semicolons at the end of each line. So it's part of the syntax. Notice how much time we use it when we don't do that over there in Python. All right, so let's execute now. And let's see if we get a similar thing. Remember to save before you execute. So we build and we run. So enter a number. We see that blinking cursor. So it's 32. We hit enter. And we're seeing the value entered is 32. So we're seeing our output. So I think we have covered the basic in terms of just getting information from the user and displaying output onto the screen. So now is the time that you ask the question that you might have for any of these programs, because we're going to move further now into looking at the different operators which are available. So questions. All right, once again, there's no questions. So it means that I'm doing a really awesome job. All right, so let me jump to worksheet so that we can put some of these things in action and have a look at some operators. So in this particular challenge, you are asked to get some data from the user. So you're getting the length and the width of a rectangle, and you're going to print the area and the perimeter. And you are given the formulas that you are going to be using. So area is equal to length times width, and the perimeter is going to be equal to 2 times length plus width. So we are going to write the codes in both languages that will accomplish this. Now, those of you who were following would have done this already. So let me start out first by doing that in C++. So based on what you learned so far, what's the first thing that we need to do? You can just type in the chat. What's the first thing you think we need? What about variables, Mr. Henry and Mr. McCoy? All right, just open my mic and talk now. That might make it faster. So we need to write the variable type. All right, what kind of variable type are we going to need? What kind of variable type are we going to need? So going back to the problem statement. What variables do we need? What variables do we need? What variables do we need? And this is to the class, you know, folks.
Length, I mean, sir,
So we need length and what?
width.
All right, so we need length and width as a base.
Yes, sir.
So let's go create those now. Length and width. How do I create length and width in C++? Question to the class. Open your mic and talk, man. Let's not waste time. All right. Uh, Mr. Cameron, where in anything that we have done this evening did you see me mention about a class? When we come online this evening, have you heard me talk about a class? Absolutely not. So I couldn't be asking you about a class because we not do nothing about class. So please, wanna focus on what I'm doing now. Wanna don't make your head straight and wanna go watch TV and them something there. Focus on what we're doing now. That's the purpose of having this session. So we can go back from the basics and build and come back upstream.
Sir,
All right, so
Shemaiah,
sir,
I heard the young lady first. Go young lady.
Sir, should make a um float or integer variable for the length
All
of the
right.
height.
So we should make a variable. And we need to determine whether or not it's going to be float or whether it's going to be in. Because those are the two kind of numeric variables that we have discussed up to this point. So Mr. Henry was saying that we should have created it as a float, which can work. Yeah, but I'm just going to use int because it's going to be easier right now. So I'm going to be using int. So how do we create integer variables in C++? I'm going to start calling people name.
oh, sir, you would establish it by putting int and then the name of the variable.
All right, excellent. So it's going to be int and then the name of our variable. So let's
So
call it what?
rectangle.
Length.
Yeah,
Length.
length. Yeah.
And it's a good practice to initialize your variable. So I'm going to say length is equal to 0. So we normally put in some starting values. And it therefore means I'm going to need width. So let's go again, int width, and that is equal to 0. All right, good. So we get rid of part one. We create the variables and we initialize them. Part two is we now need to get the input from the user. So how do we get the input from the user? I'll put it another way. What we're going to type so that we can get input from the user.
It would be the C in and the greater than sign twice.
All right, so we're going to use C in. But before we do C in, we must do something first. Somebody else in the class tell me what that something is.
Oh, somebody else.
Miss Thomas, your time. What are we going to do now? Miss Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I asked you a question.
Sir, I wasn't around the computer. Sorry. So what you were saying?
Hold on. So you miss everything that we do so far?
The second part a little bit,
Okay. All
but
right.
I'm hearing.
Yeah, but if you miss it, then you can't contribute. Jelani, you talk to me. What are we going to do now? Jelani? All right. When you come to class, folks, you need to come to class. You can't come to class and you just log on and you're gone. That don't make no sense for none of it. So I will be calling people from now on just to see who's still here and who paying attention. So that it can be on record that you show up but you're not doing the work. Because I have found that students like to talk and say, teachers don't do this and teachers don't do that and teachers don't teach. But them don't like to say, boy, it's me never did I do the work. Me, the student, never did I do the work. Mr. Shouter, talk to me. All right, so the record also shows that Mr. Shouter is here, but he's not interested in my class. Mr. Haynes, your time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. You heard the question because you were here, so tell me the answer.
Um, you'll ask the user to enter the length and width.
All right, excellent. So tell me the commands that I go and type now to do that.
So CO two less than sign, quotation mark, enter length, then a colon sign.
Is that okay? All right. So I type it for you already. Next line.
Me, sir?
Yeah, man. Next line. Next line.
CO.
The out again.
Yeah, we're
So
doing the width now.
No, man. But we don't get the. All right, let me
Uh,
run this. I'm gonna run this.
sorry.
I'm gonna run it. No, but I'm
See
gonna run
in,
it so that 1 minute. I'm gonna
all
run it
right,
so everybody can see what is happening. All right.
okay.
So I'm executing what we have here. So notice, let me put a new line. I'm going to put a new line at the end. By the way, this is another way you can write new line. The same slash ends that we used in Python is also applicable in C++. Matter of fact, it was a C++ construct that Python adopted. So I'm going to re-execute. And notice it's asking for the length, but are we seeing the blinking cursor?
No, sir.
No, we're not seeing the blinking cursor. And if we don't see the blinking cursor, then it means that the system is not ready for input. So we have left out something that's important. What we leave out?
See in.
All right, excellent. Now, moving on to somebody else. Miss Stoller, tell me how to write the C-in statement.
Okay, sir. So you're gonna write CIN, then the two signs.
Which one?
Is it the less than and greater than one or sort of included?
No, which one are they?
Is it
You
the
need to
less
know the
than?
difference between
really
them.
goes down.
No, not the less than. Less than go
Greater
to the
than?
left. Greater than go to the right. So it's a greater than sign. Followed by what? Still you, Miss Stoller, I don't finish with it. So C-in, the two greater than sign, then what?
Sir, then write the word length.
Then the variable name, which in this case is length.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So we're going to save that and test. So let's build and run. So it says enter length. We enter 12. We hit enter. Good. So things starting to flesh out. But this is only one input that we get, which is length. So it therefore means that we're not complete yet. We need to do something else. Mr. Cameron, ready for you. What do I do on the next line? All right, so Mr. Cameron not paying
Yeah.
attention. Yes, Mr. Cameron?
So you're going to type count to
All
ask
right,
for the width.
so it's C out here.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So we get C out, and instead of length, we have width.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, thanks
Yeah.
much. Miss Malcolm, your time. What is next? Amaya. All right, so Amaya not paying attention. Miss Davis, your time.
Sir, the C in command along with the greater than the two greater than sign and ask for the width with
All right,
the
excellent.
yes sir.
All right, good. So let us save and let us test that. So 12 for length, and it's asking for width now. Good. Put 5 for width, or press enter. Good. So we at least getting the inputs from the user. So it therefore means that we now need to look at how we get the out, and we are given the formulas. But we're going to go Python and do something similar. Because we're building out the two program at the same time. So we're going to Python. What did we do in C++? The first thing that we did was we created our two variables and we initialized them to 0. So going over Python and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have length is equal to 0. I'm going to have width is equal to 0. Good. The next thing that we did over in C++ is we prompt the user for length and width, and we accepted those values into the variables. So we're going to do something similar over here in Python. And by now, everybody should know that this is the way we do it. And if you don't know that this is the way we do it, folks, then it means that you have been playing around. So that's length. I'm going to do something similar for width. So we just need to change the variable names. So width, and over here in the prompt, in the message that the user sees, we're going to say enter width. And we save. So enter length, enter width. Enter length, enter width. Same thing we're doing, just that the syntax is different. So it's no time to execute. So it says enter length, 12, enter width, 5. Excellent. So the two programs are at the same place. Them doing the same thing. The syntax sort of different, but if you look at the general structure of the program, it look the same. It looks similar. Going back to what I did say from day one, if you know how to write one program, you know how to write all programs. So now we're going to go to the part now where we're going to put in the codes that do the calculation. So let me jump back over to C++. So the area is equal to length times width, and the perimeter is equal to length plus width. I will multiply that by 2. So that's what we're going to do. I mean, this is not hard to figure out. So we need another variable called perimeter, and we need another variable called area. So we're going to go up on the top and create them. Int area and we initialize it to 0. And int, I'm going to call it peri for perimeter. And we initialize it. By the way, we normally create variables at the very top of the program. So that's the same concepts that we're following here. Now, Ricardo, I want to put the command that will calculate the area. What do I write?
Could you repeat, sir, please?
I want the command that will calculate the area.
Sir, I didn't get exactly how to do it.
All right. Maybe say you're not paying attention.
Sir,
Go ahead, Mr.
so you go put int.
Int. Why int?
Int. You gotta put int area equal length times width.
Look on line 9 and 10. What have I done up there, sir?
Oh, yeah, I already initialized it up there.
Yes, man.
So
I
you
create them and initialize them already. Yes.
so
So
would
what
you
do
put
I write?
area equal length times width?
So area is assigned length times width. Notice we're still using the asterisk to mean times. All right. So area is equal to length times width. All right, Mr. Green, I'm going to ask you again. I give you a chance to redeem yourself. I must not pay attention now. I want you to tell me what I'm going to type so that we can calculate the perimeter.
Perimeter equals length, no, 2 length plus 2 width.
First of all, is there a variable called perimeter?
Yes, sir.
You see me with a variable called perimeter.
Oh, no, peri.
Okay, thank you, sir. So peri equal what?
2 length.
So I'm just going to type 2 length like this.
No, 2 times length.
So 2 times length
Plus
plus
2 times width.
2 times width. Anyway, this is not what I had on the paper. I know. It works out to the same thing, but this is not what I have on the paper. I want you to tell me what I had on the paper. But I'm going to pass it back to Miss Thomas. Miss Thomas, ready for you now. Mr. Green just redeem himself. You redeem yourself now.
Yes, sir.
I want you to tell me what I'm going to type to calculate the perimeter based on what I have on the paper.
To calculate the perimeter,
Yes, ma'am, to calculate the perimeter.
peri, wait, no, equals 2 times length. Perimeter,
But we just said there is nothing called perimeter in the Bible. It's called
um,
peri.
s- yes, peri equals 2 times, what is already there for that? Count,
Count, no man, you're gone. All right, thanks. You're gone somewhere else. Mr. Shouter, talk to me.
Sir, would it be the two peri equal 2 times?
1 minute, Mr. No. Mr. Shouter, your time. All right, so Mr. Shouter still not at class. I'm glad we have this session, so that it can be minuted, so that when people start to come and say, boy, Why them fail? We know exactly why them fail. I will point it back to the recordings. Mr. Scott, talk to me. This is not what I had on the paper. It equates to the same thing, but this is not what I had on the paper for the calculation. I want it exactly as I had it on the paper. So talk to me, Mr. Scott. What do I type?
So you would have Perry, the two that they would, you would have moved the asterisk and put a bracket and move the two, the next two and the next asterisk. Yeah. Move the asterisk.
All right. Excellent. So I don't work with that. So notice I have the multiplication sign here. So the question I'm asking is, what is the multiplication sign that we're using in C++? You see one, Mr. Scott.
Oh, sorry, I put by the same asterisk. But
Thank
the
you very
things
much.
because yeah, you put it in a bracket, it would automatically know. But
No, this
that's
is
my
not
bad.
maths. This is not maths, all right?
Yes,
So
sir, that I
in
realize,
maths,
sir. My bad.
yeah, man. So in maths, it is understood that once you have the bracket, it means that we're multiplying by the expression on the outside of the bracket. In programming, we have to be explicit. It's not going to infer that. All right, good. So we have our calculation. So it therefore means that we can now start to display our output. So the output is area, and then we print the area, and perimeter, and then we print the perimeter. So, Jade, tell me what we print for the area, and Henry, type what I'm going to print so I can print out the perimeter.
Well, I hope it still has the curly brackets in C++. So C out um less than sign, quotation. The area is yeah, which so
I want it
wait.
just like this.
Oh, okay, so area colon curly bracket.
No, no curly brackets.
Curly bracket?
No, no, no,
Hmm.
no.
Okay. Um
Mr. Henry, why don't type it?
So me just fix it, speak a microphone. So
Oh, but all me would have known that, Mr. Henry.
no, let me just make I can me that fix it. Let me just fix it a while ago.
Help out Miss Rattigan. What next?
He signed them it two less than sign them
All
with
right.
with area.
oh,
All
okay.
right. All right. So, Miss Rattigan, tell me what we type now, the full thing for the next line.
Okay, so C out less than sign quotation perimeter colon and then less than sign again peri with the semicolon.
All right, good. And I'm going to save it and we're going to test to see whether or not you're not telling me foolishness. So here is the moment of truth. So enter length 10, enter width 6. So area 60, perimeter 32. All right, so things seem to be fine. apart from the fact that the format kind of look out. So how do we fix the format? So down here is upon the print statement.
So
We
the
could
slash
use
n,
a line,
We do what?
use a new line,
All
the
right,
slash
so we
slash.
slash
need some new line.
slash n, sir.
Yeah, man. So slash a new line or end then. All right, good. So we need to put that before the perimeter. All right, let's just do the calculation quick. So the area is length times width, so 6 times 10 is 60. And for the perimeter, it's going to be 2 times length plus width. So length plus width will be 16, because 10 plus 6 is 16. And when you multiply that by 2, then it should end up with 32. So everything seems fine, except for the fact that we need to print a new line. So I'm going to go to the previous line, and I'm going to print a new line by using slash n. I'm going to save, re-execute, 10, 6. All right, so based on what we see, we seem to be good in terms of the C++ program working properly. So we don't need to go over to Python and do it. No, it should be simple in Python because we're more familiar with Python. So Shani, tell me what to type. We have some of the code already. We want to finish it up. So what do I type now? All right, Shanique look like she gone now. Amaya, talk to me. All right, Amaya look like she gone now. Dimitri, talk to me. Well, Dimitri don't come back yet. Dominic, talk to me.
Yes, sir. Let me turn that. All right, so I already have the length and width, so we can start with area. So we can put area equals, uh, and then you can put length. So yeah, that's for the area, right? Yeah, length times width. And then you can go to the next line for the pair. You can put
1 minute.
Perry.
Okay, John, tell me next line.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, the next line. You have to pay attention now, so as soon as me ask a question, I can answer. We're not here to play around. All right, that means Kejon never ready because Kejon there do something else when him should have pay attention. All right,
Sir, can I go?
yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Oh, we're in the perimeter now.
Yeah, man, perimeter now.
Okay, perimeter equal.
I'm going to call it Perry. So Perry equal
Yeah, peri equal 2 times brackets length plus width.
all right. And then we now need to display our output. Mr. Shouter, may I give you one more chance? Your time. All right, it's clear to me that you're not serious about this thing, Mr. Shouter. But just be frank. Miss Thomas,
Yes, sir. So you would print, open bracket F. So you want to skip a line or you just normal?
just jump up and talk.
Okay. So length, open bracket, length, colon, um, there's supposed to be a space, put a space, and then curly bracket, length, close the curly bracket, um, then close the quotation.
Close which quotation at the first attempt of quotation.
No, not. Sir, did tell you to open the quotation before the after the F.
All
You
right.
said
I'm
bracket.
glad. 1 minute. I'm
Oh,
glad it is. 1 minute. 1 minute. Hold on. No. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
my
I'm
bad.
glad. Hold on. No. Hold on. I'm glad it is being recorded. So when you go back and listen, then you tell me if you did tell me about quotation. All right.
Sorry, sir, my bad. Wrong thing. Quotation. The open quotation is supposed to go after the F, and
Okay.
then there's supposed to be a close quotation where the curly bracket end. Yeah, I think that's right. I think.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna try this here.
Okay, sir.
So let us execute this. So it says enter length. Yeah, man. I'm going to kill this terminal window. Look like it stopped to misbehave. I'm opening another terminal window. I should be in session one and then Python. All right. So we had put in what, 10? And we had put in what, 6, I think it was. Is this the output that we want to see? Miss Thomas? Is that the
What's
output that we want to see? What output we want to see?
for me?
Pardon me?
Oh, I was asking if you're talking to me, but
Yeah, man,
okay.
it's you. What output we wanted to see?
So you want them to enter the output?
Want them to enter? No, Miss Thomas. We don't enter output. We enter input.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Display.
glad, 1 minute. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're trying, but you don't seem like you're focused. You have to lock off it. Lock off the TV.
All right, sir. Okay, sir.
It's on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. You have to lock it off, man. You have to lock it off. Miss Malcolm, tell her what we need to do, yeah. And if you need to lock off your own to Miss Malcolm, lock it off. Miss Malcolm? No, Miss Malcolm don't lock it off. She still a watch it. Mr. Cameron, you lock it off now? Shanique, you lock off the TV now?
Sir, I'm not watching any TV, sir.
Oh, so you come back now. You ready now?
No, sir, you come by my first name and I was listening for Davis. I realized when you passed, sir.
So wait, your first name and your name. No, but
Sir,
I
baby,
understand.
normally said Davis. So you normally say Davis, sir, and when you pass on to somebody else, you realize it was me, sir.
Oh, all
Sorry.
right. Johnny Davis.
Okay, sir. All right, you're going to print, and then you're going to have the open bracket, F. Then you're going to have the open quotation. You're going to have area is,
Well, it's just here and a colon. Let me hear that.
right, and a colon. And then you're going to have a space. Then you're going to have open the curly bracket. Then you're going to write length. And then you're going to have the asterisk for times. No, not inside yours, was there outside the curly bracket. Yes, sir. And then you're going to have the open a curly bracket again and put with. Then you come outside and put equal. Then you're going to have the curly bracket open again and put area inside of it. Hope I'm correct.
Well, I hope you're correct too. So let me look for what I want as output. As output, all I want is this. That's all I want as output. So I don't want you to give me nothing extra. Just give me what I ask for. That is what I'm asking for. So go back to what you tell me. Are you giving me exactly what I'm asking for?
Sorry, look that way. Yes, sir.
It look that way? All right. So we're gonna save and we're gonna run. So you give me exactly what I ask. So we're gonna run. So enter length 10. Enter width 6. Area 10 times 6 equals 60. Is that what I asked for? Is this exactly what I asked for?
Oh, no, sir.
Oh, oh, is not the answer. Or is that letter? Is this exactly what I asked for?
No, sir.
No. All I want is area, colon, and they give me the area value. So, given that, what do you need to do? By the way, who you have there where I tell you what to type?
Me, sir?
Yes.
Sir, I'm my mama me alone live. I should have a clue what is programming.
Oh, you're sure?
Positive, sir.
Okay. All right. So fix this now. Seeing that you tell me, you can fix it now. So talk to me.
Um, I guess we would have to take out the length times width
All right. So let me
along
take
with
that out.
the equal sign.
Okay. Let me take that out. Let me save. I'm gonna go execute that now and see if you're right.
So the equal sign have to be in it.
10,
Thing.
6. Is that what I want?
Yes, sir.
The equal sign have to be in there?
No.
Never
Okay.
mind. My bad.
Okay. And that is why I said to you folks, the more you practice, the better you become. Because what you just doing a while ago, you're mixing up the calculation with the output. On my output, I don't want the equal sign. On my calculation, I must have the equal sign because I'm assigning my calculation to my variable. So I have to make the distinction between the different pieces of the program. All right. Kejan, tell me next line up.
Print,
Print,
open bracket,
open bracket.
F,
F,
open quotation,
open quotation.
perimeter,
All right, so the perimeter.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Colon,
Hold on.
space,
Space.
um, open square bracket,
All right, so the curlies.
yeah, peri,
Peri, very good, because that is the name of the variable that we have. See,
yeah,
people, yeah, so we call it peri people. A peri we call it. See, that's what people, we call it peri. So we have to use about the same variable names that we had created. All right, so let's save this and see how it look when we execute. All right, so enter length 10, enter width 6, and we're getting back the same output as we had done over there in the C++. See there? Era equals 60 and perimeter is 32. All right, good. Now we did say that we're gonna spend about 2 hours, people, and yeah, we spend about 2 hours. So you have some homework to do. Um, for Monday online session. This worksheet here, 2, 3, and 4. It must be done in both Python and C++. So you must do it in both Python and C++. So this is worksheet 2. All the other stuff that we don't do yet. You're doing it in both Python and C++. Matter of fact, you should have it in Python already. So you first want to do it in C++, and then you make sure that it also works in Python based on what you did before. So whether or not you're in Monday class or the class later down in the week, online session, you must be able to show me this. So you're going, as a matter of fact, I will put up a portal and we're going to upload both of them in that portal before the weekend come. So no matter which group you're in, it must be done and uploaded in the portal before Monday morning. And then we'll take it from there, sir. All right, gentle people. As soon as this is rendered, I will make it available. We're not playing around. Those who don't let them go and play around, this is not the class for that. We're trying to go somewhere. We're trying to build something. If you don't want to build it, people, then it's not too late to jump out and go into our next program. Yeah? So you might want to think about that as your option. When you come class to participate. You don't come class to sit down and watch TV and do a bag of other things and not learn it. Better have time for that, people. Yeah. So I hate that. Take care.